This video is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed because there's disturbing crap in this game. Feeling scared now? Well, you should be. It's Halloween time, baby! And what better way to celebrate this event than talking about the scariest thing on planet Earth? Women. Doki Doki Literature Club is a dating sim visual novel with some spooky elements, so has everyone been told. Because it's a visual novel, there isn't much when it comes to gameplay aside, one mechanic. So to review a visual novel is basically to review the story, and it feels like I'm reviewing a book now. Whatever, this game is free on Steam, the original game, not the 2021 version. That one costs money, and I don't have money, so naturally I'm gonna gravitate towards the game that I have a budget for, that being $0 and some chips and a cola that I happen to find in my pantry. 80 years have passed since 2017. Time sure does fly. I mean, DDLC celebrated its 8th anniversary fairly recently, so I figured what great timing for me this must be. Halloween and anniversary as well. Now, the challenge is releasing this video on October 31st, but if I lock in, then it shouldn't be a problem. If this video is uploaded after October 31st, then I suck at my job and I should die. I should throw a fucking beach party! Wait, what? If you see this uploaded on October 31st, then I'm the best and very Sigma, okay? So, because this game is a visual novel, gameplay takes a bit of a backseat. It's not entirely gone, but it isn't overly present like in many other video games. I think the only bits of gameplay we can find in this game is the poem creation minigames. They're very basic. Choose whichever word you want for your poem, and you can even try to appeal to these where's the fourth one? This gets the job done, and it does fit with the overall vibe this game sets out in the beginning. I don't really have much to add here because it's pretty basic, but it works, and as long as it works, that's what matters. For being a dating sim, we do have quite a lot of options. 4 to be specific. They're very cute, very anime, very kawaii, and don't worry, they're also very much, maybe mentally ill, who knows. How about we introduce the cast to everyone? So let's get started with Sayori, childhood friend. She's quite energetic and pretty extroverted girl who wishes that everyone around her to be happy. She loves hanging out with her friends and she's very eager to spread happy thoughts towards everyone in general. All in all, Sayori is a beam of sunshine who's just very fortunate to be here. Natsuki, the lolly character. Oh, don't look at me like that. They're anime characters and Natsuki is significantly short compared to everyone else. So she's a petite girl who has a tendency to show her worth and always try to prove everyone wrong. I mean, she does seem to take this very seriously. She frequently snaps at others for calling her cute and can maybe even read a bit too much into a couple of things. It does feel exaggerated a bit, almost as if she's putting on a mask. She's also very skilled at baking. Yuri, the shy, timid, smart girl who has a mysterious aura cutting the air around her, a sharp contrast to everyone else who are more outgoing. Yuri is very much into complex horror novels and can get really obsessed over it if given the chance and if she allows herself to be like that, of course. And lastly, Monika, the club president. She became aware of how boring every other club that involved politics are, so she decided to take something enjoyable to her and make something out of it. That's quite a respectable thing to do, which begs the question, how the fuck did I end up here? This guy blatantly states loud and clear that he doesn't read shit, so what are we doing here? Oh yeah, the guy we are playing as might as well be classified as a Discord moderator, and even then, that's me insulting Discord moderators because they care about their kittens. This guy is a cunt to his childhood bestie who very clearly, very obviously doesn't have a thing for him. No, that's impossible. This guy is so fucking frustrating to me because he's a prick. He's inordinately dense. He only cares about getting that pussy. I mean, even that part is debatable because, what am I going to choose? Potentially falling a little behind a couple of shows to try to get a cute girl's attention, or Skibbity Toilet Riz Omega Alpha Chan myself into the ether. The routes. Oh boy. So there's only 3 routes in this game, and it makes me a little bit confused on why appealing to Yuri seems to be the only option that makes sense considering every line of dialogue. I mean, think about it. Sayori's route, well, okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't like it because the bitch-ass protagonist is a cunt towards her. Leave her alone, she's just clumsy! But I think the issues come to light if you compare Natsuki and Yuri's routes. Some lines of dialogue from Natsuki's route make no sense, but for Yuri's route, they totally do. Of all the days to not go home with Sayori, he chose this day. Still confuses me to this day. Motherfucker, you told me to not worry about her! Then on the very same route, Yuri suddenly wants to talk to me and have me spend time with her during the weekend when she was basically avoiding me the entire week due to the way I write. Which, by the way, we're still clubmates, man. What are we doing here? It almost feels like you're meant to appeal to Yuri from the start. because otherwise I don't know how you explain these oddities. But never mind that, because if there's one thing this game excelled at, it's horror. I'm gonna say it, this game is a masterclass in terms of being a horror game. Honestly, even when I was aware of pretty much everything about this game, I still felt chills down my spine when I replayed it. This game is phenomenal when it comes to the usage of its scares, and they're still pretty scary 8 years later. This is still the best usage of horror in a piece of media even. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I do think there's at least something else that stacks up to this one. Each and every scare ranges from obvious as hell to very subtle. I'm a bit surprised at the amount of jump scares this game has, ranging from suicide jump scare to oh the game's breaking, to simulating a failed attempt, to fan posters hanging on the wall, to jump scare you would see in a shitty Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, to more tomato sauce. This game features everything. There's even this thing. During Act 2, there are also special poems that are either cryptic or downright unsettling. Many of them are references to certain characters, others are just confessions from a certain club president, and then there are the ones who are there to scare you. Weirdly enough, my favorite part from that whole ass crazy charade of chaos. These are moments of calm and silence, to collect their thoughts, to take a breather, albeit not entirely. Honestly, the main reason why the spooky scaries work so well is because the first 2 hours of the game are emulating the visual novel aspect to make it seem like it's your average dating simulator, with plenty of slice of life segments in between. Not only that, but I think the cast also lends credence to on this as well. The Dokis are very well written for what this game is trying to go for, and there's even some good characterization in here, albeit incomplete or not a whole lot of information because the script got derailed so hard it was basically just impossible to recover from that. I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks this, but whenever I think of Doki Doki Literature Club, my first thought goes towards Sayori. I think Sayori fulfills a specific and crucial role in this game that makes it work so goddamn well. She's characterized as a clumsy and carefree girl with oversleeping problems, and she might, and this is me theorizing, I can't prove anything, but she might be into the main character. She just might like him a bit more than that. However, there's a problem that Sayori has to contend with, and that is, does she want their relationship to remain the same or encourage the MC to make friends with others? The problem is that she wants both when that's impossible. And then we run into the issue of her beating herself up over her choices, calling herself selfish and suffering from immense depression. She does specify that she's had bad depression her whole life, but I'm willing to believe that it wasn't as bad until MC joined the literature club. And even then, I don't think it would have been as bad as it was if a certain third party didn't amplify those bad feelings. Sayori lives in a world where she wants her childhood best friend to not be a basement dweller, but at the same time, she wants her childhood best friend to be a basement dweller. But alas, fate was too cruel to her, and it sucks. Depression is a big part of her character, and I think it's written extremely well. The scene where Sayori and MC embrace each other is very emotional, not only due to them confessing their love, but the realization that despite them being a couple, Sayori is still not happy. She's not fine mentally. It's only fair to say that Sayori has formed a couple of scenarios in her mind and gaslit herself into believing them real hard. Why do you think she asks us if we would choose to walk home with between Natsuki or Yuri, depending on who you're appealing to, and Sayori herself? She's scared of losing MC. She wants everything to still be the same as it always was. And what's extra ass is, during the judgment day, I don't think she did the deed yet. Pretty sure she watched on her window MC waiting there and then just leaving without checking up on her and fully aware of her situation, despite the fact that her boyfriend just yesterday promised to make things right and always be by your side forever. It seems like those promises were more or less sweet nothings that didn't mean anything. Now, of course, that last part is just a theory, a game theory even of mine, but it does make sense a lot more, and I don't want to fully blame this third party for ruining Sayori. Long story short, Sayori practically carries this entire game on her back. Act 1 being the longest of the 3 solidifies that, since that's where we spend most of our time with Sayori. Really, out of everyone here, Sayori was always my favorite character in terms of everything, even if my desires preferred Yuri more. And she's a whole different can of worms that we will get to in a second. But first, Natsuki! Good god, she's a disaster. I don't mean that in a bad way. Throughout the entire game, she feels oddly neglected. And I don't mean the implications of what's happening at her household, but more so just everything can't seem to take Natsuki seriously. Not even a game. She doesn't get her own death scene, just a fake one. Her actual death takes place off screen because Monika deleted her files. And when she explains what she did to Sayori and Yuri, she neglects to mention Natsuki, which either means that Natsuki can naturally just have glitchy eyes and mouth, which I don't believe in the slightest, or Dan Salvato, the creator of the game, just simply forgot to write some lines of dialogue about that. Honestly, the fact that this conundrum exists in the first place should probably say a lot about the game. Or maybe I'm just a certified dumbass. But leaving that aside, it's very clear that Natsuki has an inferiority complex if she feels the need to always point out that whenever she does something that impresses other people, the follow-up is always, "Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?" And I get it. We find out that Natsuki, despite her being overly bossy, is not exactly taken seriously. It really feels like the word cute is a trigger word of sorts. Act 1 also implies that Natsuki has a strict dad, and that's pretty much it, but Act 2 also implies that her dad beats her up and abuses her, but I don't know how legit that piece of information is, considering it's part of the fucked up game portion. She also struggles a little bit with sharing her interests towards her friends, aka manga. We are witnesses to this, where while the clubmates might not punch down on it, they're not exactly too endearing to mangas, question mark. It's a bit confusing since this point isn't really elaborated that much when day 2 is just her crashing out that we looked up her skirt when this guy could have done the things that she set out to do himself. But also, why did MC look up her skirt? What are you hiding? Natsuki is very protective of her manga. It's really nice to see this side of her being very passionate about something she enjoys. It's also where we learn that this is where she picked up baking as a hobby. During the weekend, where everything is all fun and giggles, Natsuki makes a comment about how she needs to eat as much as she can whenever her dad cooks, which, potentially she's being starved? I can't prove it. I lack evidence. Again, everything surrounding Natsuki is grade A incomplete story. Lastly, Yuri, who might be the most relatable character of the bunch, depending on who you're asking. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are introverts and who watch my videos. Join the Introvert Nerds Club by commenting down below and liking and subscribing, please. Yuri is a shy and timid girl who is very sophisticated in a way. Everything that we see from her exudes of elegance and refinement, and a ethereal feeling surrounds Yuri in a way. She's a yapper. Honestly, who isn't? When it comes to our hobbies, it's really hard to shut up whenever you're having these kinds of conversations. And for what it's worth, this is a great way to showcase the things that she's most passionate about. She's not very used to company. She overthinks a lot of things that are happening. Hey, me too! They really hammer it down that she's not used to having this kind of company and overthinks a lot. It does feel a bit tiresome, I feel like, but the game isn't particularly long as well, so it's not too bothersome. But out of everyone, Yuri's route is the most romantical one. Almost feels like this is how you're meant to play the game, which kinda ties back with my complaint of certain dialogue not making sense in one route, but on the other one, it does. Actually, it goes so far ahead with the romanticism that when Monika breaks the ice, I'm mad! God damn it, Monika, just when I was getting close. Even in the realm of video games, I can't get laid? Alright, back to where we were. We are told Yuri doesn't share much about her, which, I'm noticing a trend. She was bullied for many things, spacing out, for being a nerd, her body type. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Who are these people you speak of? I just want to have a talk with them, that's all. So the one time she willingly shares something about her for the first time in years, she's surprised to find out that she's pleased with herself. She found some happiness in her life. Really, just being patient with Yuri, it'll lead to this moment here. She sucks blood from your finger. Oh nah, bro, are we romance maxing here? I'm sorry, I'm just taken aback by how turned to 11 this route is compared to everything else. She also hides her wrist from you. Unfortunately, there's not much else to say beyond this point other than Act 2 Yuri being so goddamn crazy. Yet, there are certain moments during Act 2 where Yuri feels genuine fear of herself and also just everything surrounding her. That moment in the hallway after the spooky scary FNAF jump scare, she has a moment of self-reflection and lore drop. Only Doki Doki Literature Club can have a character moment after a shitty ass jumpscare on paper, but it's, I don't know, it's still kinda creepy. Honestly, I'm just impressed with this silly little game. But of course, we can't forget about Monika. Fucking Monika. She would love that. God, I have never felt this mixed in my life, because on one hand, she sucks big time for driving her friends to kill themselves, just so she can be with me forever. But on the other hand, I get it. The thought of suddenly waking up one day and realizing that the world you lived in your entire life was actually fake and suddenly become self-aware? Your friends? Walking cardboards, soulless PNGs. All her poems are basically about her being sentient and about us. In fact, there were clues the whole time, not so subtle fourth wall breaks, and just some really strange lines of dialogue that they wouldn't normally be ushered by a character in this kind of scenario. I understand. Does that excuse her actions? Fuck no. Despite the fact that this game was free on Steam, my therapy bills are gonna be costly. This is what gets me. She's quite a sophisticated woman who's also very philosophical whenever we talk with her during Act 3, and At the end of the day, she understands that what she did was wrong. I'm still traumatized, and the fact that you were so goddamn obsessed with me more so than Yuri, I feel like that's an understatement, especially when you place text files in my game folder, like, and I quote, "There's a little devil inside all of us. Beneath their manufactured perception, their artificial reality is a writhing, twisted mess of dread, loathing, judgment, elitism, self-doubt, all thrashing to escape the feeble hold of their host, sipping through every little crevice they can find into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food, or into a newly opened gash in their skin, hidden only by the sleeves of a cute new shirt. Such a deplorable, tangled mess is already present in every single one of them. That's why I choose not to blame myself for their actions. All I did was untie the knot." And also, let's not forget the ever famous, and I quote, "I hate this. I can't do anything. Nothing. No matter how many times you play, it's all the same. It would be really, really easy to kill myself right now, but that would mean I don't get to talk to you anymore. All I want is for you to hate them. Why is that so hard?" So yeah, for me, it's a bit hard to feel any empathy for you, ma'am. I sympathize with your situation, but goddamn, you might want to work on those anger issues. And that's it. Like I said, Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel. One that isn't really long, but it features a lot of things in that short runtime. The ending is really unsettling, sure, but I don't like it simply because I feel like Sayori acts out of character in there. I'm glad I got the good ending as well, where Sayori feels like the same person we knew since the start of the game. That last poem from Monika doesn't really feel that accurate because Literature Club is capable of happiness. We just have to look for it. But I think the cutest part about this entire game is that the creator of the game, Dan Salvato, wrote some closing thoughts about just the things that we enjoy, and thanks us for playing the game. Nana, we thank you for making this game. Well, that surely was a Halloween themed episode. It's almost 7 p.m. during Halloween, so I wonder if I can speedrun into making this video before the next day. Oh yeah, can someone tell me if it's entirely normal to be 9 years old when you discover this game, because Markiplier made a series about it, which by all technicalities, I shouldn't be exposed to this kind of imagery in general, yet here I am. Nah, that's completely normal.